Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, May 24, 2023, at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We've had a issue that caused something to happen where the folks that requested information on the mats were not received. So we're working on it right now to rectify it, but it seems like it was all blanked. So we're working on it to get the information delivered and have people access the mats. So that should tell you something. But just to let everybody know, we'll get it taken care of. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. So have you asked yourself, how's your year going so far? Are you manifesting everything you wanted along the way? These are questions that you ask yourself. I'm just curious. What have been your big wins and successes through the year so far? And in what way did you feel that you're falling short or failed? You might want to take some time this week to deeply reflect on the last year of your life, or so far this year. Notice in what ways have you changed and haven't changed at all inside you and all around you. We all reflect upon our lives. And who you are is not about judging yourself or labeling yourself in any way. It's more about taking a massive inventory on what makes you happy and what doesn't satisfy you any longer. Inner reflection, deep spiritual consideration helps you realize more clearly that it is what it is that you do want and don't want to manifest and attract in your life. It helps you to know yourself better, respect yourself more, which makes your path easier to walk upon each day. Finding a crystal clear distinction between what do you want and don't want is vital for your heart's contentment and ability to relax fully into your body so that you can deeply enjoy this amazing human ride. As you're reflecting on your life and what you've done so far this year, remember one thing. That what you did, every action you took, has everything and nothing to do with who you are. On one hand, the attitude you had each day toward yourself and life greatly affected every single movement and intention that you acted upon every day. Everything you did and manifested in this world came from the state of mind you were currently abiding in. On another level, a deeper level, the pure spiritual essence, who you truly are, is unfazed and untainted by anything you have done within the last year or could ever do in this material world. Your soul is always innocent, bright, beautiful, and perfect at the very core. Nothing you could ever do or was done to you ever changes the fact that you are a spiritual being intimately connected to God for eternity. This is the deepest spiritual truth of your being. and should always be respected when exploring any deep consideration about who and what you are. He who thinks he is the doer is also the sufferer, Ramana Maharishi. So I have 3 simple suggestions for you to help you jump on your life and manifest everything your heart desires. If you choose to follow these suggestions, if and when, and soon you'll see that you truly blossom and uncover the most wonderfully enriching, delightful experiences of yourself you never knew were possible. What you do is you make an extensive list of all your dark parts, right? And all your light parts. Now, this isn't a judgment. You're going through this with yourself. How you view your dark parts and your light parts. Get to know yourself in the deepest and most intimate ways. Find out everything you're still running from, avoiding, and afraid of. And everything that you love, treasure, and adore. Know that the darkest and lightest aspects of yourself are both needed so that you can make actual decisions in this life, have discernment, create direction, and step up on stage to play out the most amazingly meaningful role in this life that you can imagine. Get in touch with your power of intention. After you have a clearer understanding of all your darkness and lightness, you'll have a better understanding of what your heart truly desires to manifest. From here, you can create intentions for the year that are solid, reliable, and that you can relax into. Remember, vague intentions always manifest into vague results. So be super specific, exactly what you want to create, experience, manifest, and reveal in your life this year. A life without an intention is like a boat without a steering wheel or rudder. We can feel trapped, lost, powerless, as we are constantly being blown across the seas of life wherever the wind decides to blow. Living a life with authentic intention is by far the most empowering way to live. We are manifesting machines anyway, who are always creating something in our lives, whether we know it or not. We are attracting either what we want or what we don't want all the time. It's either or both. You can never, ever turn off the manifesting flow as long as you are living inside this human body. So you might as well get clear about what you want and intend to manifest. In your future, because it is 100% certain that something is going to happen sometime this year or the next. When you create crystal clear intentions about what you want, this universe has a much better chance of delivering the goodies to you, knowing exactly in which direction your rudder is pointing. Paramount to be gentle with yourself, no matter what happens. This life is going to throw you a few curveballs, which we also create. And that you're not going to see them coming. You may feel completely unprepared and unable to deal with them, and might even come down hard on yourself for not handling the situation in the most sweet, loving, or conscious way. It's good to know that we cannot always be successful all the time in this life. Now, we all know why. We would never learn anything. It's our failures and shortcomings that give us roots that truly make us grow and evolve. This is why it's absolutely vital that you make the deep commitment to yourself this year, what's left of it, to be gentle, kind, soft, and easy on yourself, no matter what life throws at you. We can only do our best in life given the resources that we were given. So anchor in the habit this year to be kinder to yourself. Forgive others and yourself quicker. And let go of the things that throw you emotionally off balance a little faster. The mind will always be there, discerning what's good and bad. So you don't have to identify with any judgment or criticism personally. You can sit back, be the observer on the sidelines, and just watch this amazing, dark and light, magical play of life unfold, act itself out on stage. Now, affirmation prayers are super powerful, but they aren't worth beans if you project them through the ego mind. They're not worth beans. Must do these affirmations from the heart mind. This is why a lot of people will do affirmations and they'll go, it didn't work. It's never worked. Well, that's because you're projecting it through the ego mind. You want it to really work? Then you got to know how to do it through the heart mind. Drop down into heart mind. Focus on the breath. Only the breath. The space between heartbeats. And then state your affirmation. So you say to yourself, Dear Laura, Dear Bill, this year is going to be the best year of my entire life. I'm going to take care of my body, mind, and soul with more love, care, conscious consideration than I ever have. I'm going to eat only those foods that bring my body into the highest vibration and consciousness possible. I'm going to exercise daily, build up even more energy, health, vitality every day. I'm going to open my heart with everyone, becoming more honest, vulnerable, and loving each new day. I'm going to let go of every bad habit that doesn't support me in creating my highest health and consciousness, replacing it with a new habit that makes me feel more grounded, real, dependable, open, and available to love. I am 100% committed to myself, enjoying myself fully, and manifesting the most amazing life that I can imagine. I choose this or something better to manifest into my future right now. And so it is. You have an amazing year. Remember, it's a choice that we all make. And you're going to make the choice. Now's the time to do it. A lot of people are kind of lazy. They look at it as too arduous of a task to go within and discover who and what you are, to meet the dark parts and the light parts, to embrace them both, to walk through your problems as if they're just vapor, right? To clean the closets of the subconscious mind and all the programming that you've received to date. and then begin to reprogram yourself from the heart mind and the God that you have discovered that you are within the soul, within the body. For any civilization to evolve in high harmonistic vibrational frequencies, this is how they do it. But again, the ego mind says, no, you don't need to do any of that stuff. You're doing fine. Everything's fine. You know? It's not an issue. So we begin to realize that we have closed the chapter of the material physical world as a civilization. We've really done that. Most of us don't know that yet, but some do. Now, it's not like you're not going to participate in it, but it's from a whole different perspective now. It's through the God that you are, not through the ego mind. Big, 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 big difference. And you begin to learn that, okay, so I create all that out there. And we do collectively. What you see and what others see are different. It might be a little slightly different. They may see things, it's always the way. Not everybody sees the same thing you do. It's different for each and every one of us. And we really are, as corny as it may sound. These bodies are like snowflakes. Not one of them is the same. Even identical twins have differences. Emotional differences, how they view things, their perspectives. So you begin to understand, and that's, see, actually, identical twins are nature's way of cloning. Okay? Now, you've got an embryo splits into two. Now we're loaded for bear because we can compare the material physical world, because we've been through it so many times, with the spiritual world, the within world. And we learn so much along the way because we're outfitted for it. Now you can imagine, had any of us not had the exposure of the material physical world, how could we compare it? We couldn't. How would we know? We wouldn't. Going within. And actually, the material physical world has motivated us through time to go within. And when all of us get to the point where we can look through the body of others, of ourselves, and then we identify the God within all of us. So picture, we are pure consciousness, the gods. The God just sits, pure consciousness is another description of the God. So we are pure consciousness, pure love light energy. And we're able to go anywhere, do anything we want, whenever we want, when we're outside the body. And that we know, that's only if we know who and what we are. And so this is why we repeatedly, over and over and over again, incarnate in this plane of existence without any remembrance of past life. So we're literally starting over from scratch every single time. There are a few rare exceptions. But really, we're starting over every single time. Now, some of us know from the vibrational frequency that is not our natural state of being, that it is artificial. So we then say, okay, so how do I eliminate this pattern? Most of my lifetimes obviously have been where? Material physical world. And operating from where? The ego mind. So now I've learned again the material physical world in this life. And so I'm now motivated to this time to go within. Now I know this isn't temporary. And I know that I'm in the unknown. We are in the unknown when we go within. We don't know. So it's a little disruptive, to say the least, when we go within, because we don't know what we're going to find. We don't know what wounds that we've experienced that we're hiding from ourselves. But we nevertheless know that the experience of it sets us free, truly free. Because you think the God within you is not free? Nothing that can contain it. We are creation itself. And, we create universes. We create solar systems. But by being contained here on this planet in an ignorant status, we begin to undo it. And as we undo it, we begin to learn really, truly, who and what we are. We're pure consciousness, pure energy, pure God. We're omnipotently powerful, immortal, supreme beings. That's a fact. When we look at one another, we don't see the body, we see the God within the body. So it's an honor to be in the presence of another part of us. Not the name, none of it in the material physical world. But the only real is the God that we are. We're that powerful that we have literally created what we see lifetime after lifetime. But the majority of us don't acknowledge that because we fear it. We fear it. We fear that power. And the only reason we fear it is because the ego mind, which is so insecure and never satisfied, it's going to, and it's also an illusion, it's going to tap on you and say, hey, you're fine. You're really fine. You don't need to go within. And then you pass it off and say, well, maybe some other day, maybe some other week, month, or year. And before you know it, you're out of body. And not that you're really clear on it, but then you'll start all over again. It is a tremendous shift for the civilization to go within instead of out, because everything has depicted out there. And we have followed that generation after generation after generation. And when you look at all of the if you look at all of the things that have been implanted on us as a civilization, all the stuff that has manipulated us into creating, right, things that we don't want. You look at the planet, and you look at how massively the civilization has been literally so sexually suppressed. Look what it's caused. Isn't it amazing? When you really contemplate it, when you really go in silence and take a look. See, our world must take a major leap forward. And what do you think we've been used for? We don't know that in this human history, it wasn't always so sexually suppressed like we are today in the first public Roman Olympics. The athletes performed in front of thousands of people naked. You don't believe me? Go look it up. It goes to show you how accepted, adorned, and respected our natural naked body used to be, and how suppressed, repressed, our advanced, quote-unquote, society has become today. If it wasn't for the major religions taking over the world, we would all still be sexually liberated beings today. And you know what? There wouldn't be any rape. There wouldn't be pornography. And it manifests, okay? It's overwhelming. You can see it manifesting daily in the form of rape, sexual abuse, aggression, prostitution, sexual shame, guilt, fear, resentment, and deep emotional wounding, just to name a few. Each one of these traumatizing expressions is caused by an exaggerated repression of our natural human urge to feel connected with others in a sensual, loving way. Now, it's interesting that in military hallways, that's kind of secret, that every man in the military is forbidden to have a lover or masturbate. This is because the corporation knows if they are satisfied, they won't have the sexual anxiety inside them needed to become a killing machine. It's totally crazy. And it's totally insanity that's going on this planet. It explains to us. It really does. It gives us an open view. This isn't about judgment. And this is what we're doing. Our world, the civilization, needs to take a step forward in maturity and publicly acknowledge the extreme fear, control, and judgment that is going around sexual and sensual energy. Some societies on this planet are still brainwashing their younger girls to believe it's improper to show their hair or skin in public. The possibility that another man one day could be sensually aroused by seeing their beautiful, long, flowing hair was just too much pressure to deal with. So these little girls are suffering from heat exhaustion every day, being forced to wear full body, head to toe, black coverings outside in 100-degree heat. Sexual control and suppression has gotten way out of hand. And this exacerbated masculine issue is creating all kinds of mental, emotional, and physical trauma for every woman and child on this planet. So you can see, when we look deeply within, if we were all taught how to be in tune with our own sexual and sensual energy, feeling connected with it all day long, there would be such a deep relaxation, joy, and sensitivity awakened in everyone. We would never have the desire for war. The healing power of sensual acceptance would reach so deep into our psyche that nobody would become insensitive enough to abuse another human being, plant, animal, or our environment in any possible way. We would clean up this planet and finally become sensitive enough to stop polluting the air and streets with gasoline-driven vehicles, and moreover, to using electric, free energy of those European saltwater cars. There's a lot of technologies, as we know. When it comes down to saving this planet, or any individual's life from detonating into total self-annihilation, there's only one certain, 100% certain way that will work. We must choose to become aware and feel into the sexual repression that had been deeply programmed inside us. We must realize how sensually unsatisfied we truly are, and how good it feels to reach out and feel safe to receive touch by our physical community. This action would initiate the first healing response to begin untangling the root sensual neurosis embedded in your human psyche. Tantra says, learn from the cats how they sleep, how they relax, how they live in a non-tense way. And the whole animal world lives in that non-tense way. Man has to learn this because man has been conditioned wrongly. Man has been programmed wrongly. Also. Now, every single problem we have in this life always stems from your inability to deeply relax into all your feelings and senses. When we are sexually and sensually satisfied, we can relax completely, naturally, and with absolute joy and ease. When we know we have an entire community of people we can receive physical affection from at any time, our deepest tension drops and we can fully relax into our body, mind, and life. When full relaxation occurs, we open up spiritually and experience our infinite connection with God. This is where we discover the greatest healing inside. Finding the multi-orgasmic tantric experience is the oldest secret in history for finding a direct doorway to God. Why do you think people scream, "Oh God," when they are having sex? Sex is the cosmic passage to experiencing that God is alive in every cell in our body. When we begin opening up this natural connection, we discover our spiritual essence is present and fully activated in the bedroom. Allowing your sexual energy to freely and continuously flow up our spine all day long is one of the greatest hidden anti-aging secrets there is. It maintains peak mental emotional, and physical health, spiritual contentment, and a perpetually fun-loving relationship with being alive. When you commit to being a totally sensually alive human being, you become a more sensitive, open-hearted, and open-minded soul. This makes it easier for you to manifest, attract, and magnetize whatever you want in your life. Orgasmic people are way more magnetic than someone who is sensually suppressed or sexually ashamed. If you're having trouble manifesting anything that you want in this life, take a closer look on how sensually liberated you actually are. The more sensual we become, the more our six senses are activated, and we can connect with our full energy, our full spiritual power, and our full psychic intuition. We can foresee and feel our ultimate destiny happening, and how exactly what our place is in its manifestation. The sexual energy awakens the kundalini at the base of the spine, which clears away all the negative egotistical blocks, stopping us from attracting everything that our heart yearns for. When you're sexually satisfied, you are happy, satisfied, and attached to nothing. You have no neediness, no demanding energy, nothing lacking inside. You are full, overflowing with life, and this combination turns you into a super powerful manifesting magnet. The more we feel connected with our God, our God-given sexual energy, the more it enhances our divine spiritual connection. We discover that the most ordinary moments are deeply spiritual, enlightening, and the overflowing with sweet, juicy energy. This is a secret to a truly vibrant, passionate, alive life that is healing for you and everyone around you. You just cannot evolve very far spiritually if you cannot relax sexually or happen to cringe when touched by another human being. How many people have you come across that are this way? Maybe you. You cannot evolve very far spiritually if you cannot relax sexually or happen to cringe when touched by another human being. A tree's branches can only grow as high as its roots are deep. Any person living a high and holy spiritual life who is not rooted and open sexually will become a dry, boring head trip, feeling they are missing out on something. When a personal loss, death, or accident occurs, they lose all faith in God and wonder why their spiritual path was uprooted and withered away. If and when they are connecting with their sex chakra, allowing it to play and move daily, the root will have energy, flexibility, and their heart will be able to expand and find solid ground when life's big shattering moment hits. Tantra is the natural way to God. When we become so completely instinctual, so mindless, we merge with the ultimate nature. The woman disappears and becomes a door for the ultimate, and the man disappears and becomes a door for the divine. Also. Now, if and when you find yourself feeling trapped behind some huge sexual fortress, the good news is that it's quite pleasurable to open up and move through all the sensual, sexual tension and suppression you were given. You can start simple and begin giving and receiving more heart-opening hugs every day. Share a 10-minute hug with a friend every day. You know how many of us are polarized, frozen? To sit there for 10 minutes and hug somebody, where you both melt and feel the heart centers open and merge. This simple deepening technique heals the entire nervous system on the deepest levels. This simple deepening technique heals the entire nervous system on the deepest levels. When our loving sensual heart energy is welcomed, expected, and encouraged by our community, we have that little something extra to look forward to that can make us jump out of bed with joy. The more we practice being a sensually alive human being, the more it gives others permission to do the same. One day, your entire community will be free from all sensual tension, and everyone will know exactly how to find deep inner peace and love within any time they need it. Sex right now is one of the most provocative, emotionally stirring, morally challenging, and deeply wounded topics we can explore. It doesn't have to be this way. Exploring the tantric path is the one thing powerful enough to defeat this enormous sexually wounded monster that is unconsciously ruling our lives, accepting that our sensual and spiritual connection come from the same source of energy is the first step on this journey. Tantra is not a technique but prayer. It's not head-oriented, but a relaxation into the heart. Please remember that, Osho. See, we have been literally, through the ages, manipulated and programmed in the opposite way. Have you seen, you just look around for yourself as a watcher, not a judger, and you see everything. You see how the Victorian age depleted our sexual energy. You see how sex is meant to be guilt-ridden, inappropriate, bad, nasty. And see how that's been played on the civilization. And what has that produced for us? Not pleasant things, not good things at all. A lot of people under stress, pressure, suppression, feel guilty. You imagine that turmoil within many of us on this planet. Because the parents didn't know, so they taught the kids what the parents didn't know, that passed on to the kids, and then those kids became parents, and so on and so forth. Generation after generation. Now, the suppressed sexual energy, which everyone believes is normal, becomes the next taboo as we become truly conscious beings who are liberating ourselves from the mass social sensual slavery. It is this sweet inner awareness, heightened sensitivity, and emotional vulnerability that sparks the flame for spreading a sexual healing wildfire through this planet, through the communities, and our lives. With enough awareness, we will all be riding waves of relaxation through every sexual conversation and enjoying an abundance of heart-opening sensual connections. On a long-term karmic planetary level, the good news is that this sexual repressed insanity is destined to change. With enough time, the great pendulum of life always swings back on its own accord. The collective consciousness gets smarter and evolves a little bit after every generation. As the masses become more globally aware and educated, they become more curious, explorative, yearn to experience new thought patterns, expanded social rules, and soon develop a completely new paradigm to live in. What was once religiously forbidden soon becomes yesterday's news, as the sensuality-repressed society suddenly awakens and expands beyond its limits and boundaries. Believe it or not, at some point in the future, there will come a day when the entire education system will wake up and start teaching all children how to embrace, express, and allow for their Kundalini energy to move through. When the system realizes the power of the Kundalini for healing, manifesting, creating spiritual connection, they'll know it's essential for the mental, emotional, and physical health of our entire society. When every adolescent in our school systems is taking tantra classes, learning how to become a healthy parent, how to meditate and quiet the mind, how to heal their body through multi-orgasmic energy, you'll find teenagers and adults blossoming in future generations with real confidence, emotional maturity, spiritual connection, and real inner peace. The sexually repressed people of planet Earth are slowly waking up and becoming more conscious, enlightened, and aware. The social internet media is working at lightning speeds, educating the masses to step away from their TV, learn new ways of thinking, feeling, and perceiving reality. People are realizing how powerful they truly are and able to manifest whatever they want in their lives. In the near future, we will soon see more and more people realizing the healing power from liberating their sensuality, breaking free from their old school social limitations, and discovering their kundalini, spiritual power, to manifest anything they can dream of in their lives. We can thank God that we have been given this massive societal sexual tension, because when it finally releases, there is going to be the biggest cosmic orgasm this galaxy has ever seen. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out.
Hello, folks. Julie Joy here. Unfortunately, the closing segment of this particular meditation call was not able to be recorded. There's a variety of reasons this happens, but it's rare. But it did happen today. Please accept my apologies. Thank you.